Welcome to What Am I Looking At?, a podcast from the Department of Art and Design at Arkansas State University. My name is Dr. Tema Balducci, and I'm a professor specializing in modern and contemporary art. Throughout this series, each presenter will be giving insight into works of art that are in some way unusual, sometimes strange, sometimes hard to understand. I hope you enjoyed today's exploration of the visual on your radio. My episodes about the 20th century have highlighted artists who were pushing boundaries about what counted as art. But there were also artists in those years who bucked this trend and remained committed to figurative painting, meaning that they used a more realistic style and focused on the human figure. This is very traditional subject matter that had been around at least since the Renaissance, when artists became interested in anatomy. The American Alice Neel is one of my favorite figurative artists. Her works focused on the human body at mid-century, when abstract painting was all the rage. Neel is especially known for her portraits of celebrity artists and art historians like Andy Warhol and Linda Nochlin. While she painted her subjects realistically, her portraits were also expressive, in the sense that she exaggerated certain elements to capture a personality quirk or a particular mood. While her portraits are realistic, they are not idealized. For example, her painting of Warhol was done in 1970, a couple of years after he had been shot. He is seated and shirtless with his eyes closed. The focal point of the canvas is the large scar on his torso and the supportive corset he's wearing. It is not a particularly flattering likeness. He seems exposed without his usual armor of ironic detachment and outlandish fashion. However, it's Neel's unusual paintings of women that are my favorite because she was one of the first artists to focus on the unidealized female body. These were not the usual sexualized or unrealistically beautiful women that had been the norm in art. For example, Neel was one of the first artists to paint nude pregnant women, really capturing the discomfort and unwieldiness of the weight gain and other bodily changes, and especially the stress and anxiety that often accompany pregnancy that is typically hidden. Probably her bravest and most shocking portrait is one that she did of herself when she was 80. She's sitting in a striped blue chair with her body slightly turned away from the viewer and is completely nude. She portrays herself as an artist, holding a paintbrush in her right hand and a cloth in her left. Her head is turned to look directly at the viewer with an unflinching gaze. By implication, she's looking in a mirror while facing her easel, though neither the mirror nor the easel is visible. Other than some background colors, there is nothing to distract from her aging, sagging body. She was the first artist to paint such an unflinching self-portrait, and it was one of the last works she completed before she died. Neel's work was fairly ignored during her lifetime because she wasn't doing the trendy thing. It was only very late in her career that her work began to garner attention, leading her to declare that life begins at 70. What Am I Looking At is provided by KASU in collaboration with the Department of Art and Design at Arkansas State. Stay tuned next week for another look at art over your airwaves.